Hi, I'm Shelly with Gilbert Marketplace, and today I'm going to show you how to recycle and use your old shirts or sweaters to make these amazing little pumpkins. Okay, I want to say we need a pair of scissors, some thread, pumpkin stems. Now these pumpkin stems you can get from your local farmers, or every year after we carve pumpkins with the kids or whatever, definitely before you throw away the pumpkin, break off the stem and save it for next year, because you can always use these for different craft projects. You'll also need some hot glue sticks and obviously the gun. I do have this plate. This is just an old sweater I have, and looks like it's different on both sides here. So we have one side that has some texture and like a checker, and then one side that's plain. We only need one side. Now you'll notice that I have no sleeves left on this. I cut them off because I gotta show you. We don't waste anything. I made the cute little gnome out of the sleeves, so you can just, whip those up real quick too. So I got a bunch of little gnomes back here that I made out of the sleeves, so you can get quite a few of those out of there. And then I'm gonna use the body. Let me just cut this apart out of this. Now, this one was just a shirt, and it actually it's just cotton with some lace on it, and I just use that for that. So this project, you could totally just use materials that you have around the house. I was going to throw these out when we moved because the pillows didn't match, and then I said, you know what, I am gonna save the filling, sorry, my eye's itching, save the fiberfill pillows, because inside of there is all great fiberfill, which is what we'll use to stuff the pumpkin. So literally I made these pumpkins. I'm probably get, I don't know, quite a few out of a couple sweaters. I mean, for sure you can, your front and then your back, and then like I said, I use the sleeves for the gnomes, but and you can make them big, small, whatever size you want. Now, this is just a saucer plate, but because this sweater is so big, I think I'm gonna switch it up to the bigger pumpkin. So lay that on your sweater. Now, like I said, we only need one side of the sweater, only because we're going to sew it. And you know what? I might even just go lightly around it, so we're not wasting too much of the fabric. I try to use everything out of the sweater. And you know what? If you don't have a sweater that you don't want, or one that's going to the Goodwill, then by all means go to the Goodwill and grab a shirt or a sweater. You can get them in all different colors, textures, and I think that's what makes it kind of fun. So we're just, as you can see, cutting around my plate. And obviously I'm not making it perfect because it won't matter, because we're gonna gather it, okay? So we can remove the sweater. Let's toss that out of my way. And you'll see it's not perfect over here. It doesn't really matter. We're done with the plate. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get out our thread. Everyone's like, sewing. This is not very difficult. I think the most difficult part when you're my age is getting it through the needle. I go, shoot. All right, so just get any size needle, particular, and just thread it. And what you'll want to do is you'll use the double of the thread. So pull it in maybe a good arm length, okay? Better have extra than not enough. Okay, then we'll just cut that. So like I said, I am using the 2. I used it double just so that we don't break the string. Then we'll just take and wrap it around your finger a couple times and roll it off. Just roll it, roll it, roll it, and pull. And that gives you a knot. Okay, it's not a fancy knot, it's kind of sloppy. It doesn't really matter because it's just gonna hold the fabric. Okay, so on the side that is not, I'm trying to see, both sides look kind of cool on this. But the side that you want to show, leave that down towards the counter. The side that we're gonna pull, we're going to just take my thread and you're gonna go in and out. That's it. We're just doing a gathering stitch. We're gonna go in and out and we're just gonna pull that. So I don't know, can you see real good? Just in, out, in, out, in, out. And we're gonna go all the way around the edge of the pumpkin. And I usually do this as long as my needle. And then I pull it and just kind of keep it taut. And we'll do the same thing again, just kind of in and out, filling all the way around. And that's why I said you can see it doesn't really matter if it's too perfectly straight. As long as we just get it all the way around. I just kind of pull this, ouch. Try not to poke yourself. Okay, so we're basically going to make a pocket, obviously. So our pumpkin will end up around. And we're just using this gathering stitch. I usually do about half of this. And then I'm going to lay in my fiber fill. But let's just keep gathering that so you can see it's making a little bit of a circle there. We'll just continue. These pumpkins honestly shouldn't take more than 15 minutes all said and done, I would guess. It's a pretty simple project. Even a kid could do this. I would just get the needles that were not sharp, you know. You don't want them poking their fingers. So just kind of keep that gathered and we'll just keep going around here. Sorry, this is a little monotonous. This is the longest part, honestly. Okay, we're just gonna keep pulling that and maybe a little bit more, and then I'm gonna put my fiber fill in, kind of like the halfway, because I just don't wanna mess with it. And that way we can kind of see how much we need. Ouch. Okay, so then I'll just kind of set this over to the side and then we'll just grab some of this fiber fill. Now you could put some beans or something in there if you wanted to weigh it down. I don't think it's really necessary. You could. A lot of people put beans or rice, you know, in the bottom to give it some weight. But honestly, as you all know, I have a little shop and I ship a lot all over. So I honestly, you know, with the cost of shipping, I'm not actually trying to cause anything to be heavier than necessary, because obviously when shipping, that just causes it to cost more money. So I'm just conscious of that. Plus, you know, if you're in certain states, I had a lady one time say rice causes rats. I was like, oh Jesus, I'm in Arizona. We don't really have those kind of problems. But, you know, I could see that being a valid concern. I wouldn't want that either. So let's see. Then we're just gonna continue doing what we were doing with the filling on the inside. And we're just pulling that tight. We don't want to break it, but we are going to pull it nice and tight. The tighter we have it, the more lines and texture you'll get. So it's kind of nice to get that nice and firm. So we don't have too much more to go here. Okay, we're just kind of keeping that all in there. Like I said, depending on the amount of fiber fill, obviously, and the size of the circle you cut will determine, you know, what size your pumpkin is. So if you want a bigger pumpkin, obviously, you're gonna make a bigger circle and you're going to use more fiber fill. Now these are just going to be for a little tray. I use these a lot of times in those nice wood dough bowls. They look super cute. I enjoy staging and making those trays. I don't know, is everyone into those tiered trays like me? You can find a lot of my things at my Gilbert Marketplace online shop on Facebook. It's so fun. I think it's very addictive. You can make lots of those trays. Okay, so you can see we're just pulling this nice and tight, not too crazy that we break the string, because obviously we don't want to do that. But we just want to keep doing this gathering stitch. And now I think I'm pretty much to where I started. And, oh, I broke it. All right, so we're going to pull that nice and tight. Luckily, it only snapped one, I think, of the sides here. So I'm going to make a little bit of a knot right there so I don't lose my, okay, well, that broke. And I'm gonna knot this because it did break. Only on video. But I'm gonna knot it as best I can here. And then we're going to leave it like that. I'm gonna use my needle. Let's see, there's still, I think, enough left for what I wanna do. So I'm gonna just re-knot this. Let's do 2 of them so that it don't slip out. And then we're going to, I'm gonna go, just because I have a little hole here, and it's okay, honestly, the stem might even not cover it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just do it again right around, but I can do big now. We're just gonna do in and out just to pull it completely closed. I'm just gonna do some big. So, you know, this is the facts, this stuff happens. So we're just going to do the same thing around it so that I can continue to pull it tighter and get that where it's completely closed. So I'm just kind of going in and out again around the top. Try not to get my fiber fill making a mess. But we're just pulling that, maybe not as tight this time. You'll see how it's kind of starting to close up here. We just want these good gathers. So it's getting closer here, and that's it. We're just gonna keep going around until it's completely closed. And because the string is getting shorter, I might have to do it one more time, kids. Ladies. I'm afraid it might not. Maybe I'll get it with this short of a string. The problem is will I have enough room to knot it? Okay. I'm just pulling it actually, and you can see I'm gonna go in one side and out the other just to make sure it's pulled together. So these are a little bit bigger in one side to the other side of the pumpkin, and just pull it. So now it's getting tight and you won't see any hole. which is what we're trying to accomplish. So now, when I come through, to knot this, I'm going to just go through my thread. So pull the thread up and then pull. And that's how we're gonna knot it. So I'm gonna do that a few times just so that it won't, but when you come up, we're gonna go back through the thread, see, and then pull that, because that's knotting it. So put it through, pull it tight, and go through the thread. And I am just gonna keep doing this since I only have a little string left. You don't want it to fall apart, obviously. Okay, so that's about all I can do because the string is so small and I just pulled it. So now you can see we have a pumpkin. Okay, and then what we're going to do is kind of push down in the center. So this one's going to be more of like a flatter pancakey kind of style. So that's how I'm going to do it. And then we're just going to use our hot glue gun. I got some icky glue on there. Let's get that off. And this stem is kind of a nice green stem. We're going to just put hot glue, and I mean a good generous amount, on the bottom of the stem. So you can see it's got a good generous amount, and just place it how you want it and then hold it down for a second. Got a string attacking me here. So we'll just hold it down for a second. And you could embellish this with bows. You could embellish it with leaves, fall leaves. You could do a couple different things to it, but we're just going to give that a second. Still a little wet here. And this one, I wish I could keep it. And you know, honestly, what we could do if we wanted it really flat, I could just re-sew the top to the bottom, because you wouldn't see the bottom anyway, but that would keep it really nice and flat. See, now it's going to pop up. I just see there's a little glue right here. There you go. We're just gonna hold that a second. And there we have it. So now I have 3 little pumpkins for my little tray. Comment below what you think. I appreciate you guys watching. Again, it's Shelly with Gilbert Marketplace, and I hope you guys have a great fall and enjoy the holidays. Thanks for watching.